Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for another Grand Prix here in the European Racing Series. We're here in Germany, and I'm Ben Regan McConnell. Joining me on the caster's desk is the incredible Jamie M. Caster Elder. How you doing?
Not too sure, man. How are you?
I'm not too shabby indeed, but we are here, 14 drivers. I think we just lost one, actually.
Ooh.
I swear it said 15 a second ago.
Well, we'll soon find out, won't we?
We will, but it's a dry German track. And I can only apologise, Mkasa, as per usual. That's your top 3 drivers of the day.
I hate your bus.
Yeah, sorry.
I wish you'd just jump underneath it instead of me, please. Probably I'll just get my temp sheet up and source it. There we go. Right, who have we actually got? Okay, I've got someone. Sort that out. There we go. Right. Well.
Oh, we did lose one. It was Muttley. That was who it was. So Muttley left. So his car is actually not in the game at the minute. So he will miss out on qualifying unless they decide to rehost, which I don't think we're doing.
Based on the fact that people are racing in the garage, I'm going to say no, we're not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, Beaker. Let's never count Beaker out. He is on a good day. He is good. On a bad day, he is back of the track, back of the pack. P1 qualifying. I think it. I mean, Francesco's impressed this season. Can he impress here today? Don't know. I mean, Browning and Yorn are your 2 front runners, I'd say. Or Copy potentially slipping in there somewhere. I'm going to go for exactly that. I'm going to go for Browning to beat Yorn from Copy.
Okay.
Oh, no, I forgot Yonti. He's there. Oh, well.
Do you want to
No, I'll
redo?
stick. I'll stick.
Give me a
I'll
redo.
stick. I'll
So-
stick. I'll be a bit more.
Yonti has been my sort of wild card, really. I mean, he's been phenomenally good lately. There was a period where he turned the line off. I think for like a period of about 2 races, he was slow. And then post that, he just suddenly picked the pace up again. And so yeah, now Yonti is someone I'm going to put on pole. I think he's got the beans to do it. Then it's where it starts to get a little bit sort of closer. I mean, you've got Yon, who again has also been incredibly fast. I think he will take second here, but I'm actually going to put Fragioko P3.
Fair enough. Well, we'll see how that works out for you.
Oh, Dwip's had an issue. That's on the first corner. He's actually lost the car completely, hit the wall on the inside, and lost his full front wing and a very long limp back to the pits. It is.
Well, it's not that long. It's actually quite a short lap, but you've had experience of losing it like that corner, haven't you? You end up actually getting disqualified from qualifying. So people are going to have to be really careful here. They just lose the back end off that first corner. They can sit up on that barrier for just a little bit longer than they planned, straight up disqualification for blocking the pit lane, and that's them starting at the very back. Hopefully we won't see that today, as Beacom goes a little deep into turn 6.
It was a very sore wound for me, that disqualification. I was running a wet set. I've been practicing for ages to try and get that turn 1 perfect for qualifying pace. And then the game threw a spanner in the works for me and said, actually, it's a little bit too wet for you to try a dry setup. And then I ran a wet setup and just couldn't control the car throughout turn 1. Disqualified, started from dead last. It was a very heartbreaking moment. But someone who's looking pretty good is Duxie B with a 1:11.953, a full second actually ahead of Lou, although Dan has now just brought that gap down a touch, but still 7/10 is the gap between Dan and Duxie B.
Wow.
Granted, Duxie B's on softs and Dan's on hards.
I was going to bring that into the conversation, and that actually says Dan is closer than Duxie B than it might appear.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's going to be 7/10 of a gap between those 2 tyres. It's probably going to be closer to 1.2, maybe 1.3 seconds once it gets to it. I mean, it's a short track, so maybe a little bit lower, but I mean, we'll see how we go. It's interesting so far. It's soft, hard, soft, hard, soft, hard.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the softs are making a mistake. I don't feel like the soft tires are actually any good here. They disintegrate too quickly, and you kind of really want to go medium tires. Again, this is one of them sort of tracks where mediums to hards is, in my opinion, the better strategy to go for. It's definitely the safer strategy. You could do softs to hards if you really, really wanted, but this is going to be a rough race to try softs to hards on, especially if you push the soft stint a bit too far. You could very easily find yourself losing pace rather than maintaining pace, and that would be the end of your race.
Well, you look at the people who are out on hards and compare them to the people out on softs. The hards runners are the people you expect to be battling for a podium here today. With the exception of Francesco, who has actually validated time, but I think that just shows that the soft drivers are trying to use these tyres to get ahead of the hards or slash medium runners, and we're going to see how that works out for them as the qualifying goes on. But it's just because they can want to try and start as far forward as possible that they're going to be in a different race really from the guys that are going to start on the mediums. But who knows what can happen if there's a safety car at the right time? That might work out brilliantly for those soft runners. They may get almost a free pit stop out of it and be back up into where they pitted from. So it may work out. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing to remember is when I've done this race quite a few times in commentating, and I've actually found that this track is one of those tracks that actually has more safety cars than a little. So I think we might actually see a safety car today, especially if the wet weather comes into it. Then you're almost guaranteed to see a safety car.
I don't know if you've had a weather forecast update as yet.
Oh, Brownie's lost it.
Oh, Dennis has lost it, you mean?
Well, they both did. That was bad timing.
Dennis has definitely lost it. I just looked away for half a second to see if I've been given the weather forecast, which I have been given, and I missed the crash. Light cloud race. That's it.
Yeah, I've been told it's going to be dry. Which is good. I quite like a dry race here in Germany because the drivers tend to push it a little bit further, and it allows you to do that in the in turn one. It allows you to really push it when it comes to the dry conditions. I think we're going to see a lot of penalties today. I don't think it's going to be a very easy ride for anybody, but yeah, it's going to be a tough race, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's one corner in particular that you expect drivers to constantly get warnings and penalties. That is that opening corner as Max nearly loses it going around it. Just because you either clip it too much or not enough. Don't clip it enough, you fly off too far wide, pick up a warning. Clip it too much, you pick up a warning. Yeah. It is such a hard corner. Carry too much speed in and you are going to get a warning. But it is one of those corners that you try and take. I mean, I think it was last year Max Verstappen decided to try and take it without lifting, without shifting. And he did, sort of. If it was in this game, he would have got an invalidated lap. But he absolutely creamed it around that corner. And I think he might have made a mess of his underwear. Definitely made a mess of Christian Horner's underwear.
Yeah.
But it is possible in the actual F1. But that's different compared to this. We'll see how they handle that corner when they get to it, especially on the opening lap. We'll see a few nudges, I suspect, going through that corner.
Yep, indeed. We actually need to do a lap rundown, and Duxaby is about to start one. So do you want to go for? Interesting scene in the pit lane. Do you want to go for it?
Yeah, might as well. As we go down this rather short home straight down towards the aforementioned turn 1, DRS open, and then DRS coming straight back open again. One detection point for that is coming up to the first corner. Actually, 3 turns, 3, 2, 3, and the exit of 4 onto the Parabolica turn 5. Again, DRS is wide open here. This is a long straight. Detection point for this is just at the end of the first sector, and we come up to probably the most common overtaking point, the hairpin, turn 6. You want to be on the inside to try and take that position, but it's not impossible if you're on the outside. It's just a little bit harder. You need to get a really good drive and hope they don't through a kick at turn 7, not really a corner, and then into turn 8. Mercedes grandstand through the turns of 8, 9, 10, and 11. I'm getting my words mixed up today. It's been a while. Then through turn 12, a little bit of lift and shift down as we come up to the slightly banked corner of the Sachs hairpin, as you can see, slightly banked down to the left there. Through then 14 and 15, 2 corners left. We saw a lot of crashes here in the official F1, and they actually removed this DRS straight for the official F1. They haven't removed it in the game, but it is still there for these guys.
Yep. 1:11.5 is the fastest lap so far on Softser.
Yeah, well, it's still a decent lap. He's 0.9 ahead of Jorn there in second, so he's got a nice lead at the moment.
I'm intrigued to see why there's so many soft runners. I honestly feel like this is a big mistake, and those that go on the mediums are just going to love life throughout the entirety of this race. I honestly give it lap 5, lap 6. I think we're going to see a lot of people struggling.
We will see, that is for sure. Let's see who's currently doing stuff. Fragiaco is in mode 2 with red fuel. He's not really doing stuff. He's done his lap. Tompa's going to be the first one out on the mediums. What about Copy? He's a little bit down there in 13th at the moment. Dennis is the only person below him. He won't be moving up, obviously, because he's had a little accident. But Copy is on the fly. He's coming towards the end of the second sector. Let's see how he does through the remainder of this lap.
Well, let's go for it. Not much further to go left of this session, of the track, sorry. Session. There's 8 minutes remaining, so there's still tons of time for drivers to get out again and go again and, set themselves up for that final push. Like you said, Tompa going to be the first one out on the mediums. He's now on an out lap. So I'll be intrigued to see what the pace is. We can see the hards, we can see the softs, but we have not yet seen the mediums. And Copy crosses the line and does a 1:12.664, which is 0.02 of a second slower than Fragioka.
That's not too bad, is it? That's a decent time for those hards. He's now going to be going on to the mediums as Tompa is out. Max is also changing on to the mediums. Absinthe has come out again for another soft run. See how he does. I mean, if you're going to run softs, you need to be as far forward as possible, really. Ideally starting on the front row or two. And at the moment, there are 3 other soft runners ahead of him. Dan, interestingly enough, on the softs. Dan has pace, so it's not... I wouldn't have expected him to go for the soft run, but he's going for it.
Unless he feels his tyre management skills are actually really solid and that he can just go from softs to hards. But you're also putting yourself in that sort of position where if you make a mistake and you take even an extra percentage or two out of your tyres, you're just really putting yourself on the limit unnecessarily. I feel like the mediums are just going to be the more superior tyre here today.
Absinthe is up by a second and a half at the moment at the end of the sector 2, so this could be a new pole time. He's 1.6 off the current time. If he just nails this final sector, you might take that position off Duxton B. Final corner. Is it going to be fast enough? And there's the line somewhere. It's invalidated. It's 1.7 faster.
Yeah.
He had enough pace for P1. That's a shame.
It is a big shame. Where's Dan? Dan's coming across the line as well now. 1.1 seconds up. 1:10.7 was his lap time, but he did also invalidate. A 1:10.7 would be insane. Ooh, Dwip's been disqualified. Facing the wrong direction. That's actually quite far in on the track.
Yeah, that's end of sector 2. He had purple in sector 1 before that. So he's pushing it, and obviously just pushed a little bit too hard, made a mistake. I don't know how you get disqualified for facing the wrong way. Surely you're driving the wrong way, which you don't normally do in qualifying. Unless you're trying to get back to the pit lane.
I think he facing an awkward angle, tried to rotate his car around, but ended up taking the long way around, and that caused him to then have a disqualification for going the wrong way. A bit extreme. I don't feel like that should be okay, but yeah, I mean, it's done and dusted now. There's a lot more we can do about it, I guess.
No. Tompa's backed out of his lap, so he backed out quite early, actually. He's second and a bit down in the second sector.
Yeah.
So wasn't really going to go for it. But on board with Lou at the moment, coming towards the Sachs hairpin on those softs. And should be a decent time. Whether or not it's going to be good enough for a pole, I think it might be good enough for 4, maybe 5. Final corner, power down. And to the line for the McLaren. It's 5 thousandths of a second quicker. A bit of a slow final sector, actually.
Yeah.
Cost him a little.
So Lou is out on track, Absinthe out on track, Tompa out on track. Lou's actually running really low on ERS. To say that was an outlap, like he's.
Is that sorry?
Sorry, I was looking at best. My apologies. It's not an out lap. That was a hot lap, but now is in an in lap. So yeah, but I think we're safe to say that we are at the calm before the storm time, as almost everybody is in the pits, preparing themselves for that final push, and hopefully they can get themselves in that top 10, especially those on the mediums, likes of Tompa and Max need to try and break into the top 10. And interestingly, Lou and Absinthe both went out on the softs. And they are so far down in comparisons with those further up. They're all on the hards.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of changing onto the mediums. Other than Duxton B, the whole way down to Lou in 8th, going for those mediums. Tompa is out on track. He's going again. He's up by a little bit after the first sector. Not as fast as first sector, but improvement on his previous best, and he needs to find a big gain here. We're talking like nearly 2 seconds, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but the problem is he's made a mistake, a big mistake. He's done 3 laps when he finishes this one on the medium tyres, and you may as well have just gone out on softs in that case, because you're doing.
You can pit.
You
can
could
still pit.
He could pit now, but he won't. I can guarantee it.
No.
And now he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's not going to find enough time to get back and do another run. He does go out to second, but that is going to be an easy to beat time for everyone. Well, especially for those medium drivers below him to quite quickly just shift on by.
Yeah.
Yonti has just started a lap. Where's Copy? He was out quite early. Copy's a little bit further ahead, going through turn 5 at the moment. So we'll see how he gets on.
Indeed, Copy. Ooh, bit of a lock up there into the hairpin, trying his best to do what he does best, but yeah, at the minute, medium tyres still not looking too hot, to be honest. Oh, another big lockup. Yeah, that was huge on the inside left. Did not quite feel too comfortable through the area. One final sector to go, and invalidated.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
He just cut it too hard.
Yeah, he was green in the first 2 sectors, but not fast enough. Don't lose the back end. He's got another shot, though. And, I mean, if he was quick enough, he could have got back to the pits and got some fresh tyres on. He might have made it. But, as is, he's going to go for what? He's got Yonti just a bit behind him now. He's coming around that final corner. What's he going to achieve? He needs this to be P1 or P2. P2.
Oh, solid. That's a very solid time. Only 4/10 off of Duxie B, who did it on soft tyres. So that's really, really quite a good lap from Yonti.
Final corner. Up by 4/10 at the end of there. And beats his teammate. Still got time, though. And that is tight.
Yep. And you're not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to say it. I know you're thinking it. The tight like a tiger, but you're not allowed to say it. As,
I wasn't saying it. You've said it, so it's fine.
You was thinking it. Don't worry.
No, I wasn't. You were thinking it, and you said it.
Well, Jon is currently charging up to the hairpin. 2/10 up at the end of sector 1. 2/10 will put him just in P4, really. He's not really going to gain too much.
Jon's got on purple sector 1. But got on purple sector 2 is Duxie B. So Duxie B is probably going to improve on his time. If Jon can keep this clean, and you go, Duxie B has improved. Jon needs to keep this part clean, and he might have a pole position, or at least the front row. Yonti is a bit ahead of him as well, and coming towards the end of his lap. Where is he? Coming around the final corner is Yonti. And to the line, it is. He backs out.
It feels kind of redundant doing that then. Because you're using the same tyres you're going to start the race on. If you've already improved, you may as well cross the line and improve.
If he didn't, well, he's not going to use those. He'll use older tyres. He'll use the tyres that they were at the time he crossed. I think the game backs them up a little bit.
I don't know.
If you look at the best, it says wire 0 laps, so they're slightly used. But we'll find out. I mean, Beaker's done the same. He's done 2 laps. He did improve slightly, but Jon, P2.
Yeah.
Where's Brownie? My pick. What's happened to my controller, bro? I can't move down. That's because I'm doing it wrong. It's been a long day. Leave me alone.
I mean, Brownie P10 right now. Like you said, I expect him to be right up there. Currently, he's not doing too great. He does need to improve by a second to be close to Jon and Beaker. Dan gets in between the 2 Haas drivers, sets himself P4. Now Brownie, is he going to be able to improve? It's a yes, sir. P3 for him. That is good times.
I'm happy with that. I did predict those 2 would be up there. I thought it was going to be Brownie over Jon, but I'm happy that they're there. What about Copy? Just off the back of Beaker. So your pick, Yonti, is well off the pace. What has happened?
I feel like that lap that he backed out of, I feel like he could have absolutely just put himself in there and then been right behind his teammate. Max, though, only comes across the line in 10th place, 1:12.266. Definitely expect a little bit more from him because he's a qualifying man. He's not a race man, and now he's not looking like anything other than a waste man.
Oh, that is bang on point. Quickly going into this race, just quick on the championship standings. Yonti is currently leading by 69 points from Brownie. Fragioko is on... So Yonti's on 170. Brownie's on 101. Fragioko's on 84, with Beaker just behind on 82. after his win last week. Spicy on 81, Dan 72, Marinado 58. He's not been around for a while. Duxby on 37, closely followed by Copy on 35, Duop on 27, running at the top 10. Yawn on 20, Drusav on... No, Yawn 21, Drusav on 20, Tompa there on 10, and the splattering of others behind.
Yeah. Indeed. Here we are, Duxby, Sam Paul. It does have that time done on the soft tyre, and like I said, I don't feel like this is going to be the strategy to be on. Soft tyres will just fall apart so quickly on this track. I think the medium runners are going to be very much faster, and yeah, they could do the soft tyres, like I say. I think those that are outside of the top 10 will probably go hards to whatever, maybe decide if they can push the hards far enough to go into the softs. It's a lot easier to do it that way than it is to start on the softs because of how much you take out of them in the qualifying. But I know now's D-Day really, isn't it? Let's see if they can do it. The clouds are a little bit there, no rain. We're not expecting any rain in this race. We might see some. I mean, this is the track that still haunts my dreams and nightmares. It's the one where it was wet enough for it to still be slippery and slimy, but it was not wet enough to go into the intermediate tyres, so driving on softs on this track was awful, to say the least.
Well, I would take your word for it. I don't do driving. There's a very good reason for that. When you see me do it, you'll realise why.
Yeah, the walls are appreciative of you not racing.
Yeah, true. I have actually now got a track back up.
We do have Muttley back as well, so we're now up to 15 drivers. Remember, he did actually lose, I don't know if his game crashed or something happened to him, but he couldn't load into the game in the qualifying. Ended up missing the whole of qualifying, and that's brought him into this current position. But the drivers currently stand on the grid. They are prepping themselves for their strategy, the way they're going to attack this course, especially those outside the top 10. They get free reign of tyre choice, and not no more they don't, because we are all ready to go for the formation lap. And now Mkasa, we were both severely wrong when it came to the qualifying predictions, but race is where we can be a little bit more accurate. So what's your top 3 prediction for race?
You say that like we normally are quite accurate. I wasn't bad.
I feel like I'm going to nail it today.
Do you now?
Yeah.
What, you're going to get it 100% wrong, yeah?
Yeah, probably.
Let's just get the tyres on my screen. So, no surprise, everyone's starting on mediums behind. Do I have data on the tyres? No, I don't. Not yet. Oh, I do. Ooh, interesting. Cheeky bit of information there.
Yeah.
So, Yonti's not going to get into the top 3. He's going to struggle because of his tyres.
Yep.
Which is going to leave it to be... Just checking Beaker, I think is going to struggle as well. I think it is going to be a Yawn Brownie battle. That is what I'm going for. But
which way round?
I keep going against them. I'm going to go not against them this time, because I predict Brownie is going to get jinxed like I always do with him. So Yawn is going to take the win from Brownie. Third place. Actually, yeah, I think Yonti. No. Yeah, Yonti will get third. I was counting him out, but I think he's still got the pace, even if his tyres aren't on their best behaviour.
So go on quickly, 1, 2, 3.
Yawn, Brownie, Yonti.
Okay. I am with you for the Yawn Brownie. I actually think Copy is going to take P3 today. Nothing against Yonti, just Copy has really shown a lot of pace lately, and I think it's going to be very hard for those behind to be able to sit on top of them. And Beaker, I think he's going to struggle to hold on to the podium today. Although I did hear from the House Boys they were going to get a 1-2 apparently, but they need to put their money where their mouth is, as they are on the track, the lights are on, and when they go out, we're going to be getting underway with the German Grand Prix, and it's a sprint to the first corner. Remember, you can see Yawn actually, he's really took off. He's in the race lead already. You got the house of Yonti ran seriously wide there.
Absolutely spun in the background, just got a little clip through turn 1. He is now plumb last. I think he survived the barrier, but is down at the very, very back.
Yeah. Well, speaking of down, Duxby. What a horrible start he had. He was looking good initially. He had the pace in the qualifying, but the race start, it just seemed to get bogged down. He just couldn't get away off the line. Dan's looking for an inside line of Copy. A little bit of kerfuffling going on. Dan just ran into the back of Beaker. That's going to be wing damage on the Toro Rosso, I feel. I didn't see anything fall off, but it looked like a hell of a shunt.
Yeah, Max has made a good start. He's up a couple of places up with Duop and Muttley gaining a few places back there. I thought Duop gained another one on top of it, but he hasn't. But yeah, so Fragiaco is down a place along with Lou. Tomba, Lou's down a place even on those softs. It's not working out too well for her. Hopefully she can recover it from there.
Oh, Lou's a girl. I didn't know that.
I'm going to assume because I know a girl at work called Lou. I could be incorrect.
I think it's probably incorrect. I think Lou could also be Louis. But we do have Dennis who made a mistake just a few cars back. Oh,
there is the mistake at the back. There is Lou in the wall. So we no longer need to debate.
Oh, that's a hell of a crash as well.
Safety car.
Yep. I called it. I said it earlier on in the
qualifying. It blocks the pit lane.
Yep.
It's blocking the pit lane, so safety car now. Brownie, wrong side of the pit lane at the moment. But could he come in now and put some hards on and then go to softs later on in the race?
No.
You think that's a bit of a crazy strategy? Even
yeah.
If Beaker did it, you'd say that's the best strategy he's ever done.
No, God, no. 100% no. Anybody, the only person who should pit now is Duxby. He's the only person who should pit now.
Who was I talking about?
Yonti.
I meant Duxby, sorry. Duxby,
no, absolutely.
Stop onto hards.
Yeah,
and then go to softs later.
Yeah, Duxby is the only person who should be able to pit here. Anybody else pits, they've just basically killed their own race. Your lap 2, your tyres are brand spanking new. Duxby has to pit here so he can get onto the same strategy as the others and not lose any pace. Ideally, go hards now so that you're running the tyre. You're basically running as if you're outside the top 10. I mean, you will be outside the top 10 when you pit. Yeah, he knows that. He knows. He's listening. He has to. This is just too risky for him to stay on the softs. They're going to fall apart in 4 laps. I mean, well, he'll gain an additional lap out of them based on the fact that they're so slow under the safety car conditions. But yeah, hards now, go mediums after. He's going to have to fight his way back up again, but considering how much pace he was going to lose when he was going to go softs to whatever tyre he goes onto, he was just going to lose so much. It's not worth it.
Yeah, Dennis is also pitting. I thought you had front wing damage, but that was someone else. That's an interesting start from Dennis. Duxby's gone for mediums, so he'll join on the back of the pack. Again, I would have gone on hards for both of those guys and just gone really long.
Yeah.
Find out how far you can go, and then go, well, I can't get to the end on these. I'm definitely going to stop. Oh, hang on, I'm only 5 laps from the end, or I can get them to 5 laps from the end. Let's go for softs. Great.
Yeah.
But mediums basically says I have to pit again, and it's not going to be for softs. It might be for mediums again, but we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Duxby is in a bit of trouble now. Honestly, hards to mediums was definitely the better situation for him because when you get onto those medium tyres, you'd be so much faster, less weight on the car, more grip in the tyre then, and that obviously allows you to put in faster lap times. But now, because he's gone onto the mediums, he's basically put himself in the same situation as those ahead. He no longer is relying on his straight line pace in terms of grip. He's now just put himself on equal footing, and I think that will be I think that'll be it. I think that's the end of his race. I'd be surprised now if Duxby gets any higher than sort of P7.
Yeah, I think he's just got to hope that he can go on to another set of mediums. Which we'll find out. I mean, it's not out there as a possibility to go soft, mediums. It's going to be really, really hard, and he's going to have to hope the safety car stays out for another lap after this if it's going to work for him. But his tyres are going to be stinking cold when he gets to the start of the race.
I mean, you got Dwip, Tompa, and Absinthe on the hard tyres as well. Their tyres are going to be freezing unless they can work out a miracle on how to get the temperatures running throughout this safety car. I think we're going to see the rest of this lap, maybe one more lap. It might even come in this lap, to be honest. But it's going to be a very heavy start for Jon. He has to take off when that safety car comes in. He cannot delay because Brownie will be on him. We haven't got DRS now for another 2 laps after the safety car restart, just to help separate the gap a little bit. So Jon needs to just go full, turn everything up to 11 and pull away as quick as he can. But Germany is not a track that's easy to do that with.
No, hopefully he's saved up a nice bit of everything already at this point, and just so he can dump that extra bit of fuel, not have to worry too much about it in the long run. I can see Beaker's numbers, and That's quite interesting what I'm reading there. I'm not going to divulge because that would be ruining things for him. But interesting stuff as the safety car is going to be coming in this lap.
Yep, indeed. So the ball is in Jorn's court at the minute. He has to make sure he gets a solid exit when he decides to regain the race. It's entirely down to him when this goes, but he needs to try and sort of fake out that he's just going to take off. Whether he chooses to do it here or not, I don't think he will. Ooh, collisions and penalties further downfield. Was that Dan, I think,
Lots
and
of
also
penalties.
Mutley?
Well, fortunately, those will be.
Go on.
I definitely saw two. I Dewup and Tom. Oh, Mutley. There's definitely a few penalties, and Jorn is going to get us underway again. Those penalties will be served in the pit lane, so we don't need to worry too much about them right now.
Yeah.
Is anyone looking for a dive into turn one?
Well, I'm looking to see how many people are struggling on these cold tyres.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely struggling. He's had a massive tank slapper. Survives. I think maybe some stains in the back of Dennis's and Duxby's car, though.
Yep. Max is doing well, though, to recover. Up to P6 now from where he first qualified. I believe that was P10 when he first started. He's now currently doing a very solid job of keeping himself involved. Yonti, a big, close situation. Actually, I've just realised Max and Yonti are desynced and don't realise either of them are there. So Max went straight over Yonti's car. And, yeah, that's a shame.
Let's have a look at this and see. So Max has got up to P6. He's right at the back of Dan, who's on the back of Copies. So is a Renault sandwich being formed right there? I just wonder if Yonti's extra laps he did in qualifying has just taken a little bit more out than he would have liked.
Yeah.
And I'll see at the end of this lap how far I think he can go. Max is having a little bit of lag issues. That might cost him something to Yonti. But
Well, he's trying to... Go on.
Go on, there you go.
I was saying he's just trying to keep himself within Dan's range, because we've got one more this lap to go now, and then we'll have DRS enabled. That might have just got him a 1 in there. But, you know, we're starting to get to the exciting part of the race. It's starting to become very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Jorn has already got, well, he had a 1 second lead, but obviously Brandy's getting a little bit of slipstream back there. Just put himself back in just a little bit. And I'm keeping an eye on the tyre wears and seeing how many laps before we might start seeing these medium stop. And I think we're going to be seeing potential pit stops around 15, possibly the earliest stops for those medium runners.
I think it'll be about lap 12, 13, if I'm honest. Especially for Yonti, I think he'll be lucky to make it to lap 13. Especially if he can hold pace, I mean. But, yeah, I don't know. Lap 12, 13, I think is where it's going to be.
Yonti's around that. I mean, other drivers are going to be a little bit longer because they didn't take as much out during qualifying. But we'll see. Depends on just how they're feeling. Obviously, that safety car saved a few percentage of those tyre wears. Yeah. And that could be crucial as DRS has been enabled. Where's Beaker?
Ran a bit wide there. I don't think he got 1 in, but it was very much on the limit. He's sort of closing in onto Brownie. He's running at 57% ERS, which is not ideal, really, considering that we've only just had 2 laps since the safety car went in. And he's going for Brownie now. Look at this slipstream all the way down the back. You've also got Dan doing the same further downfield. Beaker's going to have to get into the braking zone and try and outbrake him into it, and he's got that. The inside line is the better line to take through that corner, and Beaker now takes P2.
That was pretty simple. He's overtaken. Brownie just didn't really defend. It was like he wasn't expecting him to come that far back, and Brownie picks up our first 3-second penalty already. And Beaker, he's come straight back in front of Max. Massive collision. That is a big mistake there from Beaker.
Yeah, that was I mean, it was Brownie. So first off, it was Brownie that started that incident. So Brownie went off track, got a 3-second time penalty for corner cut, extending track limit. Sorry, came back in again. Beaker just turned in because he was more than clear, and then Brownie tried to send it down the inside, couldn't, hit the back end of Beaker, rotated Beaker, and then Beaker very unsafely rejoined the track right in front of Max, caused I think 3 cars worth of collisions, and yeah, now I think Beaker's going to struggle to sort of defend that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, let's have a look. So Yonti, Max are both in for nose changes. Mutley left the session, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a bit of damage. No, he looks okay actually. Interesting enough. Absinthe in front of them looks okay from my view, and it is 100% fine. Next up, Duxby is fine, but these guys are all may not have had damage, but they've been affected by it.
Yeah.
They've just lost time. Look how far Duop is behind Copy now, all because of that one incident. I'm just looking through the damages. Tompa looks okay. Bika somehow escaped with no damage. He might have cooked his tyres a little bit more. He's actually just made a move there on Fragioko. Fragioko himself, no damage on his car. So there's a few cars that did pick up damage. Look like 3 people did. Well, definitely 2, and Muttley left the session as well. But yeah, so not the best move there from Bika.
No,
but
I think it's gone from a bad race to a horrific race for Yonti. He really didn't need that. He'd already had a bad qualifying coming into the race. He had a terrible first few laps, and then obviously as we get to lap 8, it just kind of disintegrated into chaos. Now the only good thing he's got going is that technically he's going for an undercut. He is on the hard tyres. He's coming a lot early. He can actually take these to the end now. I've been told that they can do 32 laps on the hards, and that'll be around about 60% on the tyre wear, so he should be fine to go all the way to the end now. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't make mistakes, doesn't cause his tyres to lock up at all, because if he does, that 32 laps could very easily turn into 25.
Yeah, I mean, if there's another safety car as well, this is all going to help Yonti and Max at the back. They'll just have first of all, they'll catch up. And second of all, they've already stopped. So they're going to be really hoping for another safety car as Bika is trying to make moves back on Duop. He's going to get a good drive off the corner. He's going to look for one down the inside of turn 12. He's looking. This could end in tears. It's not going to end in tears just yet. Duop runs a little bit wide. And Bika's driving angry. He is driving angry.
We have seen an angry Bika before, and he was insanely fast. Although we saw it once, and we haven't seen it again, sadly. I don't know if this is a good thing that we're seeing Bika drive angry. I've seen him make a lot of mistakes lately. And there was another one. Just lost the back end. It's actually bringing Fragioko right into this mix now. Look at the gap between the two. He's only about just under 2/10 behind Bika, and with the DRS and the slipstream being available, I think either Duop's going to lose a place. He might even lose 2 places, but it depends. Although Fragioko had a really bad exit there, which has allowed Bika to run away a little bit.
Bika wants that inside. You can see it. He is looking for it. Could that have cost him a chance around the outside? He might lose out to Fragioko here. Fragioko's got that rear wheel up alongside Bika. He's going to go through. Is he? No, he's backed out. He's let Bika back ahead. And as they were last time around, for now, that was a nudge from Tompa.
Yeah.
That looked like a nudge. I wasn't on board with Tompa. I was on board with Fragioko. The way he just lost the back end looked like a nudge.
I mean, it was a gentle tap. There's no damage on the Alfa Romeo, but it was very borderline. It could have easily been end plates or front elements just disappearing from that front wing. And on a track like this, you need it all. You can't afford to lose anything. And he's been dealt a safety card there. Just a little subtle warning: don't do it again. Next time could be your full front wing.
Yeah, and who wants to lose the full front wing? Tompa tries to cut the corner as fine as possible. And he's in the DRS of Duxby. Duxby's got it on Fragioko. And let's switch up to Bika now as he's come off that corner. Is this going to be his chance? Is he going to look to go around the outside of the parabolic? He is, which means he's going to have the inside for the hairpin when he gets there. He is already ahead, but could do fancy a little dive. Duxby covers him off anyway, just to be sure. And Bika has that place secured. What happened?
Duxby just carried on. He just made a mistake in the braking zone, didn't stop in time, just ran straight off the other side. He's brought himself back on track again, but he's lost that place or two. And now it's Tompa in P8, Absinthe P9, Duxby falls to P10.
Yeah, so as it stands, it is a Toro Rosso 1-2, and I bet they're going to be happy to hear that. Copy is trying to catch up to Brownie. He is within DRS zone, so 0.8 of a second at the moment. Brownie does have a 3-second penalty to his name as well, and that could be crucial come the end of this race. And the thing is, several others have 5-second stop goes, haven't they? They need to serve. Well, not stop go, sorry, but time penalties they can serve in the pit lane.
Yeah.
That'll be coming in shortly. but Jorn with a nice lead.
Yeah, indeed. So Copy slowly working his way towards the back of Brownie. And like I said earlier, Brownie is the sort of person that I kind of rely on for these sort of situations. The only person who was sort of adding a spanner to the works, if you like, is Dan. And I think Dan is actually good. I reckon Dan is going to lose out due to the timing of Jorn's pit stop. Dan's going to have to either come in a lap earlier than Jorn and take the hards further, or he's going to have to come in a lap after Jorn. And then, you know, yes, he'll have less time on the hard, sorry, but then he's going to be extending the mediums a bit too far. If he stays out a lap later than Jorn, I feel like Dan's going to lose the podium spot because it's just, you know, the overcut very often fails and temporary Pajerko scrapping.
Yeah, I was surprised you still talking about the tyres. When there's like, hang on, these guys are battling good and hard here. Tompa's now got through. He's on those hard tyres. So they're starting to come into their own a little bit. These mediums are starting to slightly fall away. I'm still going for, what did I say pit stops were? 16, 17?
I think it's 15, 16, but I'll leave 16, 17 if you want.
Yeah, so, well, I think still 15 is probably the aim. I can see Frajerka's tyre life at the moment. And, yeah, I think he will be going for lap 15.
I wonder if anybody's going to pit a little bit early. It'd be interesting to see if anybody does try it. Copy could get the undercut, but then again, on a track like this, you don't necessarily want to get the undercut too successfully unless you're able to use the DRS of the guy in front of the guy in front of you. If that makes sense. So if you're in P4, you want to be trying to get onto the DRS of the guy in P2. The problem is that he knows the two people leading this race are Jorn and Dan, both teammates, both in Toro Rossos, and could very easily switch at the drop of a hat. And if Dan does actually pit at the wrong time. Tompa nearly lost the car completely there. It's a good catch though, but scary times.
Definitely a squeaky bum time there for Tompa. But yeah, coming back to the Jorn Dan, they've got to make sure they time this well. They don't want to come in. Jorn doesn't want to come in the moment he has to, because that can then mess up Dan. Dan needs to be thinking, or at least chatting to Jorn, saying, "God, when are you planning on coming into the pits? Are you coming in next lap or the lap after?" And if he goes to the lap after, he says, "Well, I'm going to need to come in before that then, so I'll come in now." And, well, I mean, he's not going to get a 4-second undercut, that's for sure. Unless there's serious problems in the pit lane. But Pika has served his pit stop.
Yonti. So yeah, Yonti.
No, ahead of Pika.
Yep. I was thinking that Yonti would be in a good position, but he realised there that he had to push. He knew his teammate was coming in. And that was, obviously, his race engineer told him, go, go, go. Effectively, it's hammer time. But, yeah, he did get a 3-second time penalty for his troubles. Absinthe and Duxie B had a little scrap, and that's Duxie B still, getting P8. Absinthe is really struggling today.
Bradley's looking quick, actually. He's just on a purple sector 2 on 13-lap old medium tyres. Just starting to wonder if that's a corner cut, though, but that is a quick sector.
Oh, race leader's in. So 13 laps. Well, 14 technically.
Dan's in as well.
Double stack. I think they may have actually separated just right, because I think there's about 4 seconds between the two.
About that, yeah.
Should be okay. Let's see. And
he's going to be held up
off Jorn goes. Yeah, he's held up.
He's going to lose a few seconds here at least.
So I think it's about 7 or 8 seconds is the gap. But yeah, Dan's really lost out there. I think that timing was pretty poor.
Yeah, obviously not in communication as much as they'd like to be. And I mean, you look at Dan's gap now to Jorn. He's come out behind Yonti as Dan.
Yeah. So going back to my original prediction, I said, actually, hold on a second, because Duxie B is slipstreaming Jorn. Jorn's just come out of the pits. Yes, Duxie B is going to be faster because he's obviously the tyres are warm and Jorn's are freezing. So he's going to be trying his best to try and warm them up throughout this lap. And it's probably going to take about a lap and a half to get them up to proper temperature. But yeah, just go back to my predictions. I did say Jorn, Brownie, and then Copy, if you remember. And I think we're probably going to be seeing that.
Quite possibly. Dan lost 9 seconds in the pit lane. 9 seconds. So that pretty much tells you that don't be anywhere near the guy. You need to be a good 10 seconds off the pace to double stack. Big mistake there, I'd say, as Brownie and Copy both come in. Jorn will not struggle to take the race lead back off Brownie. Brownie's only just exited his pit box now, and Jorn is going through turn 1.
Yeah, Jorn is going to be severely ahead. Like I said, the overcut just doesn't seem to work here. It's something that you just can't really afford to try. Jorn managed to, I mean, I guess he's technically an undercut, even though he's not cutting anybody, he's just protecting himself from it. So Jorn doing the right thing. The gap to Brownie now is, what's that, 5 seconds almost? 4 seconds.
What, Jorn to Brownie?
Oh, Duxby and Tomper going into the hairpin. Duxby's got the inside. Tomper's trying to capitalise. Jorn's really impatient, trying to just get away as quick as he can. I think he's worried that Brownie's going to be a bit closer than he wants. But no, it's all good, all safe. Jorn is still net P1. And he's going for a move, actually. Look at this.
That's a squeeze and a half. Jorn needs to just calm it down a little bit. If he spoke to his Jeff, I don't know if he's got, not the in-game Jeff, he's an actual Jeff. If he's got one of them, he'll know that Brownie has 6 seconds of penalties to his name already.
Yeah.
And he's 3 seconds off the back of you. Don't panic. Just pick your passing places. Duxby will be coming in soon. Not this lap, obviously, maybe next lap. Tomper Duke will be coming in probably in another 5 or 6 laps. Unless they can really push those tyres. Just take your time, Jorn. Don't make a mess of this.
Oh, Dennis. Another penalty. This is actually probably one of his best results so far. The only downside is that, I mean, he could still get the undercut technically on those that haven't yet pit further up above, like Absinthe, Tomper, Duxby, Dwip. But Jorn is going for Tomper. He's not waiting around at all, going for the inside into the hairpin. His tyres are definitely going to be warm now after all of that slipstreaming he's just been doing. He's going to get a better exit. Oh, a little bit of a wobble there. It's actually allowing Tomper to come straight back at him. Side by side, but I think Jorn's going to benefit the most. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of contact there with Tomper coming off the corner. Jorn run to the run wide, and Tomper's there going, "You ain't coming through, mate." Just to stabilise the back end of Jorn's car, but no harm, no foul. And he's running up onto the back of Duxby B, who's 3.5 seconds off Dup as Brownie also gets upper position.
Yeah, Absinthe surrendered that. He completely surrendered it. He moved over to the inside. Didn't even, and he made the whole corner much harder for himself than he necessarily needed to. He could still let him through if he wanted to, and not necessarily need to worry about it. But Dwip is in. Duxby stays out. Yep. Yeah, I'm reading that right. Yeah, Dwip's in.
Yeah, on 17 lap old hards. That's interesting call, but
hey, it's about halfway through the race. That's gonna be a rough stint on the mediums.
Well, what's that? That's 16 laps. Which is what they're doing anyway.
Yeah.
And he's going to be on low fuel. He'll be fine.
Oh, Tomper, Duxby. Tomper's getting forced to the outside. Nowhere for him to go. Looking for a cutback, but he can't get it because Duxby holds his line perfectly. And Duxby gets a better exit. Therefore, Duxby holds on to P2. The battle further down behind. Copy is now past Absinthe, so he's looking for that P3 position as it stands. Although technically, he's P2.
At the moment, yeah, he's doing pretty darn well. Your prediction might be wrong, but I guess you'd be quite happy with that one being wrong.
Yeah, I would to be honest. I mean, especially with the pace that Copy's been chucking down lately, he absolutely deserves this.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Jonty is hovering on the back end of Dan. Dan down there in current 8th, which is effectively currently P4. Although penalties and things may change as we go through. Yeah. Hopefully no one will pick up any. Dan has the fastest lap to his name actually at the moment, and hit a purple sector 1 last time around, and a purple sector 3 to go with it. So Dan is flying out there. He's got clean air. He doesn't care that he's got the championship leader on his tail. He's just going, look, I'm trying to catch up to these guys at front. Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah, effectively. So Brownie is in a real predicament right now. He knows that Copy is close enough to take the position from him due to the penalties that Brownie has. Ultimately, I think Brownie's going to probably end up getting more penalties post-race based on what I saw earlier, but obviously we are not the stewards. We don't make those decisions. We just speculate and cause controversy, and that's what we do best. So Brownie, 1 second clear of Copy just about, although Copy is actually reeling him in slowly.
Well, yeah, Brownie's getting held up here by Tomper. He may not be right on his tail, but you're still getting held up, even when you are just under a second off the guy in front. Yes, you have slipstream, but through the slow corners, you don't have as much grip, so you can't carry as much speed. as Tompa gets out of Brownie's way, and Brownie will be happy to see the back of him. As he's now up to P2. Copy is close as well. Dennis is in, never mind. I'm just trying to see what Dan's time to Brownie is, because that could be big as well. Brownie could lose a lot.
Duxie B's just pit. I've just realised Duxie B pit. I went on to another set of mediums. So obviously he's done the softs, went to mediums, and now he's gone to another set of mediums, which he can take to the end of the race. So maybe he actually outsmarted me. I think that's actually very smart of him to do that. I didn't think of that strategy, to be honest.
Well, yeah, so he did 2 laps on the softs, then 16 on the mediums, and now he's going for his final set of mediums to the end. And he's actually recovered pretty darn well, up to P8.
Yeah.
When did he start?
He was P1 initially.
Oh, yes, he was.
He got pole on softs. But then remember, he had issues, fell down the order, did end up benefiting from the safety car, he was able to change to mediums. He's now sort of reset himself. He came out, I think, P13, bringing himself further up. Max and Absinthe having a little scrap as well, further downfield. P11, 12. Max really slow today on the hard tyres. It looks like he's just really off the pace.
He stopped really early because obviously he had the front wing damage as a result of Beaker's incident. That's why he's so far down at the moment. He did 7 laps on his opening stint, which is not really what you want to do.
No,
so,
I mean, I honestly think Max will probably take these tyres to the end, or at least try. But the last time I raced Max on this track, he actually got double puncture on his rears because of how far he pushed them and how hard he pushed them. So unless he's been practicing and learning anything about the tyres and the track, I think he's not going to be able to make it to the end of this race. Although Fragioco is sizing up Beaker. Beaker's gone defensive into the hairpin. Fragioco's trying to take the outside line. He's turned in a little bit sharp there. No damage on either car, but that does mean they are side by side on the exit. Fragioco looks like he's got a better exit, but Beaker has the inside for this corner. If Fragioco could stay alongside of him, or even just get fully ahead of him, which he has done, then Fragioco's got this position. Good stuff.
Beaker's not giving up though. He's coming straight back at him. Trying to go around the long way and has, but he's done that off the track. Has he had to get the position back? The answer to that is no, he hasn't. And
it was very on the limit though, that wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you could say Fragioco forced him off there, so he had no choice, but...
Oh.
Well, that's nothing at the moment. At the moment.
But the time's been dropping. Between Brownie and Copy, the time's... I mean, now it's sort of hovering where it was before. It's just dropped considerably there. Oh, I saw Dwip and Duxie B having mistakes further back downfield. But if Copy suddenly finds pace throughout this race, he might actually be able to get within Jorn's penalty range and then jump him.
Yeah, Dan's trying to close up as well. He might get Brownie's penalty range. Brownie with 6 seconds of penalties. We'll do a quick rundown in a moment. I'm just watching Tompa on the back straight, trying to close up to Duip. Duip's got DRS of his own as Brownie, Beaker and Fragioco swap places once again. Duip lunges and hits the side of Duxie B. That's going to give great chance to hit to Tompa. Tompa's going to get past Duip as a result of very, very... I mean, that break was so late. Yeah, I can't even think of an analogy for that because it was that damn late.
Even Ricardo would have said no, not today. I'll get a refund on that first class stamp, thank you. And yeah, Tompa's trying to get all over the back of Duxie B. No change happening as it stands, but Duxie B P8, Tompa P9, Dwip really not that far behind, trying his best to close up. This is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, some battles starting to develop all over the track, especially if these the lower the points positions at the moment. It's 8th, 9th, and 10th. Absinthe isn't too far behind. As Duip is pitted. He's picked up front wing damage because of that. He's definitely picked up a 5-second penalty.
I think it's
saw that coming from a mile away.
Is that going to be a retirement? Although Tompa's going for a move here on Duxie B in an area of the track that I wouldn't recommend doing the overtake for because, yeah, you might be ahead of him. There's retirement. Oh, he actually has DRS. I don't know how he managed. Oh, he's got DRS and Beaker, I assume. So this is actually pretty good from Tompa. I mean, he's going to lose out again because Duxie B is slipstreaming him all the way down. It's going to be a battle of the brakes. Oh, Duxie B backs out. He could have had him there, I think. I think if he'd actually held that line, he could have had him. Brownie has lost a lot of time, and that's actually Brownie lagging back a little bit. Copy's inside of him currently. Brownie's back in front again, and Copy's still on the back of the McLaren. Oh, a little touch there. Thought it was going to be a wing damage, but nope. Brownie still holds on to P2.
I think Copy thought he was still ghosting, and it's just a stupid thing to do. If you think the guy's still ghosting, don't take a risk of trying to drive through the middle of him.
Yeah.
That's simply what Copy was trying to do. He assumed Brownie was going to ghost and he'll be through. But this has worked into the hands of Jorn beautifully. Even with 3 seconds less penalties than Brownie, it's now looking good for him because Copy needs to get past and then up 1.6 seconds.
Oh, big contact! Duxby gets hit by Beaker. Duxby tried to go down the inside of Beaker into turn 1. There was already a bit of argy-bargy beforehand. Duxby gets wheel to wheel with Beaker. Beaker just taps his front left wheel, and Duxby rotates through turn 1, misses the wall, but still lost a lot of time. Beaker's retired. I think he
on
is
track.
Very frustrated.
Yeah, not entirely surprising. He's not had a good day, has he?
No.
Stomper and Fragioka swap places, actually. Didn't expect to see that. Let's do a quick penalty rundown then, with the final 10 laps on the board. Current race leader, Jorn, has 3 seconds. Brownie has 6. Copy has 0, and so does Dan. Behind them, Yonti on 3. Tompa on 3. 0 for Fragioka, so he's looking good at the moment. He might gain a couple of places, actually, if you can catch up to Yonti later on. Yeah. Absinthe is there in 8th on 3, and so is Dennis, Duxby, Max, and Muttley is an evening game. So Max is 3. Yes, he's on 3. Muttley's not there. So
as it stands, Brownie is going to be outside of the podium, which is not good news for him. Yonti now has no chance of getting back into the podium due to the amount of penalties he's got. So as it stands, it's looking like Jon's going to take the win, with Copy taking P2 and Dan taking P3.
Yeah, Fragioka is going to jump up to P5. He'll be very happy with that. Considering he's currently down in 7th, batting with a guy who's on better tyres than him.
Yeah.
So
yellow flag sector 3. Who's that? I can only assume that's going to be Max. It is. It's Max. He's lost it. He has wing damage. Does he have wing damage? Yeah, left end plate's gone on that car. So turning right, which is what turn 1 is, he's going to struggle.
Yeah, I think this might be another pit stop for Max coming up. At this rate, he's actually going to lose out to Muttley, who's an AI.
Yeah.
Which I won't hold against him.
That dastardly Muttley. Brownie, though, P2, holding Copy back just about. I don't know how he's managing this, but the thing is, he's almost in a bad position by holding Copy back. He needs to let Copy go, match his pace, use his DRS slipstream, and just hold on to the back of him. You're going to lose the position of Copy anyway. You just need to pray that you can break the gap between you and Dan. And I think using Copy's toe, that's going to be the way to do it.
Yeah, well, the Copy is really close this time around. He's looking down the inside, avoids contact. I was expecting a slide into the side there of Brownie. Brownie's defending that one. Defended on the outside. Copy could not make use of the inside run, but he's looking all over the back of this McLaren right now, isn't he?
Brownie is ruining his own race.
Well, he doesn't have a choice. He wants to just finish ahead. Max has done Max things and moving on.
But, I mean, I get what he's saying, but at the same time, he's not thinking ahead of the game. He knows he has penalties. The one thing he probably doesn't know is just how far back Dan isn't. I mean, he's on the limit of being able to stop Dan from capitalising on Brownie's penalties. And the one thing that he should really benefit from is just letting Copy go. Let Copy go, use his DRS and slipstream, and then you can use that. You don't need to plan an overtake on Copy. You just need to hope that Copy does a fast enough lap time that's faster than Dan's. Which, looking at it lap on lap, he actually has been faster. And I don't know. I feel like Brownie is just destroying himself. Copy's loving this. He's got nothing to worry about.
Well, he doesn't anymore because he's now ahead. He's through with relative ease.
I think Brownie's now realised what I was saying. That actually, you know what, you're right. Let's do this.
Will it work out for him? Is Copy quick enough anyway that he's just going to put away from Brownie? Maybe. I think Brownie's mentality was keep Copy behind, make him try and pressurise you and make a mistake, get himself his own penalties. It's going to help him a bit, but it's not happened. Copy is penalty-free in P2. Which is good for him, as people are leaving the session even though they shouldn't be. So
yeah, I
that's
expect
not
some
good
quality bands coming in soon enough.
Yeah,
But yeah, Brownie is not quite clear of Dan. Brownie is suddenly let off the gas. Brownie was fast. Brownie was actually faster than Copy for the most part, and actually holding Copy back. But now that Copy's through, it's like Brownie's sort of given up. He's not really trying his best to close up or keep himself together. And as a result, it's just falling apart.
Yeah, it's starting to not look good there for Brownie. 4.5 ahead of Dan. With 6 seconds penalties to Brownie's name. He's definitely got Jonty covered. Jonty's going to lose at least 2 places here, maybe more if things don't go his way. And Absinthe can close up, but actually Absinthe has got 3 seconds of his own, so Jonty's going to drop. Tompa will stay where he is, and Fragioco will leapfrog the both of them.
Yeah, it'd be good for Fragioco to get that position. He's worked hard for this. He deserves it. I feel like he just needs to be a little bit more aggressive. I mean, we've seen last season we had a very aggressive Fragioco and it didn't work out. This season we're seeing a more refined Fragioco and it's actually working out. But now he needs to find a way to be refined and aggressive. And just getting that nice balance would help him be further up the field. But Fragioco's really impressed me lately.
He doesn't need to do anything from this point. He can just sit here quite happily. Let Tompa try and overtake Jonty for whatever reason, because Tompa doesn't need to do anything either. These guys can happily sit behind Jonty. They're not going to catch up to Dan. Dan's not got any penalties anyway, so yeah, just wait. Just wait, you'll get Jonty's place at the checker flag. But up front, Jon has a nice 5.3 second lead. It's coming down a little bit from Copy, but I don't think Copy can close down a 2.2 second gap in 5 laps.
No, I'd be very surprised if that happened. Dan is still hovering around the 4.8, 4.9 second margin, which is perfect for Dan. I mean, in terms of ERS usage, he's not sitting too comfortably. He's in the 40s, but that's after a braking zone. He does need to find a way to slowly but surely bring himself closer. How he's going to do that, I have no idea, because Brownie's got DRS. Nobody has to maintain the 6 second gap. He can't afford to get a 6 second gap evolve, and he also can't afford to get penalty of his own. So he's got to be quick, but consistently quick.
Well, what's helping him is he's not got pressure from anyone else. The only pressure is himself. There's no one in front, there's no one behind. Just match lap times. Let's have a look. Dan is P4. So last lap, he did a 14.909. Brownie did a 14.814. So Brownie was a tenth faster, and only a tenth. So it's not a huge difference at the moment. As Tompa's looking to try and shape up Jonty. Will Jonty fight this? Fights it a little bit. In fact, he fights it quite a bit. He tries to cover him right off, and will cover him off quite well. Tompa got a wheel there.
Jonty's in trouble because he's got penalties, and he's not going to be able to stop these two from passing him as it stands. Fragioco is obviously in the best position overall. He's going to jump both of them. I think Jonty and Tompa are the ones that are scrapping. Tompa's made a mistake. This might actually bring Fragioco into a good attack when it comes to the next mid-straight. I'll have to wait and see that.
I don't know if he wants to be in the battle. He doesn't need to be involved in this. He can sit back. He's not going to lose anything to behind. He's definitely within the 3 second of Jonty in case he picks up another. I think he's got this covered. Just needs to keep a cool, calm head. Don't do anything too rash.
Oh, he ran pretty wide there. That would have cost him, and he's already lost a load of time there, down to 8 tenths. Duxaby's in the pits. I think he's going for the fastest lap because he knows now he's got 3 pit stop to Muttley. Muttley's obviously an AI anyway. But Duxaby, final place, going to get that point. If he can get a fastest lap, he's going to double his points. Jonty and Tompa have swapped places. Jonty tried to defend him, but there was not a great deal he could do about that. He's right on the back end of him. Could easily change if Tompa makes another mistake like we saw earlier, but Fragioco's slowly but surely bringing himself together. And again, Dan's gap to Brownie not changing at all.
No. Staying rather consistent. Again, last lap, they were much closer. We're talking 20, 30, I can't count, 20 thousandths of a second, 20 hundredths of a second between their last lap times. My math doesn't work today. It's been a long day.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's Brownie. Hunting copy. Still, he's not really trying to pass him, like I said. He's just trying to sit on his backside and dare I slipstream into his heart's content. The problem is now, though, is that Copy's pace has suddenly dropped off. Yeah. This is actually bringing Dan even closer. Tomper getting a time penalty. Yonti has been cast a lifeline there. This might actually be Yonti being able to take him again, get in that position. Brownie. The one thing that's not working for him. Yep.
Brownie's just taking it easy. Didn't even worry him. Copy could come back, but he's not going to. But this also worked out. Tomper's penalties worked out quite well for Fragioko because it's just given him an extra penalty. Fragioko has a little bit more wiggle room now. Even if he picks up a penalty, you still get both those places, and that is going to be great. Great to be inside his head if he knows that. Just a little kick and oh yes, I've got a little bit more room to. If I make a mistake, it's not the end of the world.
No. So I think Brownie now is in a weird predicament. He's brought the gap to about 5 seconds. He has this lap and the next to just pull off a huge gap. He's lost. I would say he's losing time. He's actually gaining time.
He's set his fastest lap.
Yeah, he has to set faster though. He has to keep going. He's got 73% battery that he can deploy. He's going to be deploying it. Look, mode 5. Fragioko getting a 3 seconds.
There we go.
That's destroyed his jump.
No, it hasn't. He's still fine. He's getting double jump anyway. Because Tomper just got that second penalty. That's exactly what I was just saying. Fragioko had room to make a mistake. And he has done. And it's fine. He's still going to get both places at the moment. And might actually get Yonti before that, and does. I missed that. I want to see that, I think. He's through.
They're still going through the hairpin.
And he is. He's ahead.
DRS slipstream. Fragioko clean ahead now. I mean, 25 laps on the hards. You're in a position where you can't really fight. You fight, you're going to destroy even more tyre wear, and you're in a bit of a pickle there.
Yeah, if Absinthe can close up 3 seconds, if Yonti gets a puncture or just lose that back end, I can see how bad his back left is, and trust me, it's not looking pretty. He should be able to get to the end. There's only 1 lap left, but he's just not got to spin these rears up. He's got Absinthe is 3 seconds. Yonti's got 6 seconds. He should be okay.
So
fingers crossed for him.
I've been told 71% tyres on Yonti's car.
Okay, 74.
Sorry, 74 now, yeah.
Yeah, I have update on my screen.
That's pretty hot. Pretty warm. It's not looking good. Everything negative. Let's just find. Let's go through the thesaurus. Let's pull out everything that sounds negative and then just chuck it Yonti's way right now, because that's currently the situation he's in. He's a sort of driver we're used to seeing up at the front, but he's just had a really bad race. It's not worked out for him at all. Qualifying could have worked out better. Race could have definitely worked out better. And now, as we come to on the final lap, we've got Jon, who is just a few corners away from taking the 25 points and putting my prediction. Nailed it. But yeah.
You might still get a podium here.
It's going to be on the limit there.
It is.
Well, Jon crosses the line. There it is. Here's Brownie. Is it enough? Is Brownie's time enough? I think it isn't. I don't think it is. Dan's coming, and no, it isn't.
No, not quite.
Good try, though.
Yeah, Fragioko is going to be happy with a P5 when he gets there. So Yonti has definitely got Absinthe covered off, so Absinthe will get P8. And Dennis isn't far behind in P9. And then a further bit back, but he has the fastest lap to his name, is going to be Duxby.
So 2 points. Duxby recovered a little bit out of that. But yeah, it just shows the softs are the worst tyre to be on. I think everybody who started on the softs failed miserably. Blue was one of them. Duxby was another. And I think Absinthe was the other. And it just showed all 3 soft runners at the beginning could not make it as far as they wanted to go on the softs. It didn't help that there was a bit of contact going on. And yeah,
a bit.
It's a tad. I would not like to be the stewards, let's just say that. But here's the rundown at the end of the European Racing Series. It is Jorn in P1, taking a very solid victory after starting P2 and immediately leading before we even got to turn 1. Copy taking P2 due to the penalties of Brownie, who actually crossed the line P2, but drops down to P4, as Dan also had no penalties and jumps him as well to take the 3rd spot on the podium. Fragioco in 5th place with Tompa in 6th. Yonti, who had a pretty rough race, managed to push the tyres to the limit and get P7. Absinthe there in P8. Dennis in P9. Duxaby gets the fastest lap and the final points position, with I guess Muttley being the best of the rest, but he was an AI and the only other driver to finish, as Max, Beaker, Dwip and Lou all DNF from the session. And it leaves me with the final question, Karsov. Who's your driver of the day?
Don't know. I think it could be Jorn. He did a great job to get there. Could also be Copy, keeping it clean, getting P2. Either or, really, if you ask me. I mean, if Jorn got another penalty, then that would have been really close to the top.
Yeah.
I think Jorn and Copy both deserve it. I'll let you cast the deciding vote.
As much as I love Jorn, and I think he did a really good job, that one penalty is what's putting me off of him. I mean, Copy got 3 places gained and got P2 and didn't get any penalties, so very well deserved in my opinion. But that is it for us from the European Racing Series.